Hello.
So happy to have you again in our radio shows. I don't know how to say it because I can't believe. I don't know. The first album was in 1998,
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
and this Metal Commando, at least what I've heard, it's incredible. It's just like if you are doing, I don't know, maybe the second album.
Thank you. Yes, we feel really fresh still, Ruben. I mean, after all those years, and it's just great when you have some like five writing members. It's keeping the engine working all the time, and that's a good thing. And also the alternating thing with touring and then going back to studio, and we feel really fresh on a prime time. Let's say that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we can see. And I was a little bit worried because I don't know, a short time before the recording start, you were into a back surgery.
Yes, but that was during very early, Ruben, because we are producing the demo already pretty early last year. I mean, I did not sing all the songs of it, but quite a few. And the big thing, it was just a little bit of lasering. They do it different nowadays because I have this, as you know, I have the back pain, how you call it, the slip disc in the end.
Hmm.
It's a double slipped disc, and they lasered it. So it was not that big surgery. It was a
Uh-huh.
light surgery, but the pain was there, so it was not easy to sing during the time. That's true. But I did, we didn't do live concert. We canceled one show in North Germany. I did the Switzerland show, but then the doctor said you should not go. And then I was focusing on healing my back during the time. Well, I think I was recording three songs with my back pain.
Hmm.
Sometimes it helped me. It helped me make screams.
Because the people used to say that if Ralph is saying that it is painful, it must be really, really painful.
Yes, it was painful, but I mean, come on, we are warriors, metal warriors. We get over it, and it's always a good way to get healthy again if you're smart enough, and I'm smart enough to be healthy again.
Great, great. Well, going to Primal Fear. So I see the things between Apocalypse and then Rule Breaker and before Delivering the Black. We can see you are keeping kind of line. We could say you're following a line. As far as I've heard from Metal Commando, you keeping the same line. So maybe you are happy with the results, how the band is going this last album.
Not maybe, I mean, because we have five writing members, Ruben, and that's a big advantage. I said this before, and that's a good sign. It's better than having two less songs in the end when you can pick from 15 to 20 songs, and that's not what we had this time. And we're really happy about the outcome in the end. We have a pool of songs. Matt, the producer, is well experienced, and he's making the proposals how we set the songs together on the album, and it's a perfect list in the end. It's absolutely what I feel too, because we have the alternating and changing atmospheres in the songs, and we have the up-tempo songs, we have the groovy songs, we have the ballads, and it's a perfect following of tracks on this album.
Uh-huh. Primal Fear is very good in that ambient.
Yeah,
You can handle it. You can handle them very, very nice.
yeah, it's also experience. We're doing this for many years, and you can really tell that a lot of we know how we approach things and how we do things.
Mhm. Great. And there are two things different. On one side, you got a new drummer, and on the other side, you got Matt. You've been working with him right from the start in 1997, I guess. How is it? Both things.
The kernel of Primal Fear, like Tom, Matt, and I, we're still there. That's true, and of course the others add up. They're adding a lot. I mean, we're a team. We're teamwork. No matter who started and who's new, the most important thing is to be a team in the end, and that's also now with Michael. He totally fits like perfectly into the band. So as a human being and as a musician, he's just phenomenal at what he does. you hear it on the album. I mean, he's drumming like crazy monster, and that's great. You know, it's just amazing. And he's personal wise also exactly what we were looking for, an absolutely pro and calm guy, and that's really nice.
Well, and Primal Fear has been so coherent, we could say, in all his career. Um, is it hard to be so coherent and not starting to repeating yourself?
That's a good thing because we still are fresh and we feel fresh.
Hmm.
I mean, we have our style, and that's what's also very important. That the style that you're being recognizable in the end, right? So you can always hear it's Primal Fear when it's Primal Fear, not only because I'm singing, but also because of the music. So it never gets boring, and that's a good thing. When we come up with something, it's always this fresh feeling. Even of course, if a riff or maybe a melody sounds a little bit familiar to what we had before, it's a different approach because it's a new song and it's a different theme in the end. And you're hitting harder. You're always going one more, and that's what we always want to do. We always want to set things on tops from things before, without saying we don't like the older stuff. It's always a progress, and
Hmm.
that's how life somehow is working in the end, being a progress until you die.
Great, great. Well, you were involved in this United Souls. United Souls is a song for medical personnel. How is it?
Well, I just taking tributes in one song. I think it is. Together with a student of mine, he brought me up to this United Soul stuff, and I'm contributing my choir. It's not actually a song I wrote or something. I'm just lending them my voice, and somehow I compose a choir and I sing a choir at a certain time of the song. It's actually
Mhm.
not really something which is comparable to Primal Fear because it's a totally different music, right? But
Uh-huh.
I said I help whenever I can, and if it's a good for a good cause, I'm there to help. You know.
And well, talking about this pandemic, how do you think we're going to be out later? How is it going to be?
Well, I hope only good, and I hope in concert situation is going to be like it was before because we don't want to miss the interaction with the fans and the live
Hmm.
playing, standing together in a mosh pit or whatever and cheering to the band and we cheer to the people from the stage, and that's what we already miss a lot, and we just hope it will be like it was before. Although the forecasts somehow are very critical about it, but let's stay positive. We're always positive persons. I can speak for myself here. Let's stay positive and let's say it will be back and we will be back. We will overcome this because it's not the first time we are learning from such kind of thing. Just be a little bit smarter now, and then later we can somehow live from being smart. If we overcome this, it's only from being smart right now, and then we can
Hmm.
continue like before. You know.
Yeah, because there are two kind of alternative, we could say, these online shows, and then this stuff just like Doro did with people watching the show on their cars and things like that. What do you think
I'm
about those two things?
I'm not judging them. I mean, but it's not a thing of Primal Fear because, like I said, we want to interact with the people. Heavy metal is living from the sound and from the interaction.
Hmm.
So if you are having a car system, could be fair enough, but it's not enough to deliver the bass or the loudness or the energy of a concert, right? And as a band, even you standing in front of cars, it's kind of weird, you know. Of course, we know there are persons in the cars, but you know, playing in front of cars, I cannot imagine. I mean, I absolutely appreciate what some colleagues are doing because they want to deliver music and the fans are pleased. But I don't think it's a thing for Primal Fear because, like I said, it's live music, it's heavy metal, it's loud music, and it does not happen for us.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you personally, how are you going with this pandemic thing? Because there are musicians who were so productive, we could say, in this time, and another one that totally opposite, didn't do anything related to music.
Yeah, the good thing is, Ruben, I mean, we are promoting our album. We're doing interviews. We're doing preparations to what we do next Friday. The album will be out on the
Hmm.
24th. So we have a lot of work to do. We are still shooting videos and stuff to give the fans and please the fans with material as good as possible. And of course, it's our passion to do this. So in the end, we're still busy people. Everybody else, of course, in the band also has a lot of things to do to overcome in terms of his business he's doing. I mean, I'm, for instance, also teaching vocals and also sometimes sing for other bands in the studio. Well, everybody's doing things to keep himself busy and to overcome the financial situation as well, which is not so easy when you're not touring and doing festivals. So
Hmm.
we are somehow businessmen on one hand, and of course on the other hand we're living the dream of making music, which is now a pretty even more hard than ever was. But like I said, it's
Yeah.
hard, and it was always not easy for to be a musician. It was always not the
Hmm.
best situation. So if I want to be in a good situation, I look myself for a job or whatever. But it's as a musician that you don't have a secure situation, but you're living your dream, and you don't want to somehow you don't want to just give up in a certain way because it's in, and that's why musicians and heavy metal musicians are strong um, uh, icons in the end, who are
Hmm.
standing, and we will overcome this in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Because these last years, CD selling, for example, were going down in an incredible way, but the band still had the live shows, and now you don't even have that. So things are getting harder and harder.
Yeah, it's not easy. Not really. It's not easy. But in the end, like I said, patience is also a key word. So we have to be patient in the end. And
Hmm.
if if you are a fighter, then you are also a survivor. And if you are a survivor, you will also make it through this pandemic in the end.
Okay, great. Well, when you look back, let's talk about Primal Fear and not the other bands, the great bands where you were involved. Uh, do you think Primal Fear has the place that the band deserves?
No. but but I'm not the one judging or decide. I'm judging, but I'm not deciding wherever
Mhm.
we are. We do our very best to release good music, and that's our focus. And everything else is decided by the market and by the people, of course. And I always say, if a band has success, then there's a reason why a band has success, and of course we have success. But I still see us a little bit
Mhm.
higher, but
Mhm.
if you don't have this goal anymore that you see yourself higher, then you can stop. So there's always a certain way of not being
Uh-huh.
satisfied with the situation in a positive way again, even. So not in a bitching, in a grow somehow in a jealous situation. To be jealous is not very good. We always want to somehow achieve more, but that's natural.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, uh, this is by myself. I think there are bands that they're not so good, we could say, that were they had more lucky, we could say, than Primal Fear. Maybe it's not so fair. That's why I was asking that.
I hear your opinion, and I hear you, but I'm not the one judging this because you know.
well, Metal Commando. What do you expect from this album?
Well, like I said, I mean, I know this. I know the music of this album almost a year now, so I'm really happy that all the reviews of the press is so good so far. And now the final chapter comes when the fans are listening to the music, and we are very very excited about their opinions in the end because that's why we make the music for the fans in the end. And so I'm personally really happy with the songs on the album. I'm 100% also a fan of the music. not only an artist on the album, I'm also a fan of this kind of music. So I'm just really looking very much forward to the first opinions from the people out there. I mean, the reactions of the first singles were already pretty good. And the third is going to be released exactly on the 24th of July when the entire album will be out. We will release another video. So, yeah, so everything, the machinery is really well oiled, and it's going to be a big heavy piece of music. It's going to be released next week, next Friday. So we're looking forward to the release.
Great, great. So, if you should, if I tell you you must sell this album to the people, what would you say?
Exactly what I just said. Because if I would not stand 100% behind it, you would somehow feel it. You know, if it's like selling. If I would be an Instagram influencer and selling items or some whatever you want to sell to the people, and if I'm not 100% convinced, I could never do it because I'm an honest person. So I'm really happy, and I'm really saying this with all my conviction that this album is such a great effort, and we can really, and I say this to my bandmates, we can be really proud of the product, and that's just great.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Ralph. I appreciate the time you take to talk for us.
Thanks
Okay.
for having
So,
me, Ruben. Bye bye.
have a good day. Goodbye.
Bye bye.